Welcome to Flicks on Tap.
Welcome.
We have a busy episode tonight. We've got a lot of discussion coming in. There's some news. There's some beer talk.
Some beer talk.
It's April, so that means there's some good beers coming out this month that come out annually that I'm excited for us to be talking about.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, some movie news that I read about today. That's going to be crazy. And then just talking about a great film. Yeah. One that a lot of people thoroughly enjoy, even if they're not a fan of the actual content. So that's cool.
It's always great.
Yeah, that's true.
What cereal is that?
That's Frosted Flakes, buddy.
Nice.
Tony the Tiger.
You don't see Tony anymore. Anyways.
Those mascots are all kind of gone just because commercials are kind of gone.
Yeah,
in a
that's
sense.
real.
It's like cable TV's gone. I don't know if we've really mentioned too much about that.
Yeah.
But it's dead.
They're making a cereal movie coming up soon.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's a good cast. But anyway.
News I didn't even know we were talking about coming
We'll go into that later.
Yeah, so let's crack open this beer to start.
All right.
We're starting off with Dank IPA from Big Dogs Brewing Company. As I said, it's April. We got a pretty buzzed doggy with some red eyes, so I'm assuming it's themed for the month.
Pretty lit pup there.
Exactly. So we're gonna crack this dude open. It's very green on the can. 6.8%. It's in a pint. We're sharing the first one because we have a pretty heavy hitter coming up next, so we'll see how that goes. But as we've said before, this is a local brewery that we've thoroughly enjoyed in the past, so I'm very excited for this one because I really like their danker, earthier beers.
Wait, seriously? Is this like a nod to 420?
That's my guess, and the next one is as well, which is why I paired them together. So,
right. Okay.
These are going to have some of those notes that we really enjoy in our beers. Let's crack it open. I'll let you examine the can afterwards. All right. So we're also pouring these into our little tasters from the Great Vegas Beer Festival, which were awesome little glasses, which we tried all of our beers out of that night.
Yeah, that was a very fun, perfect weather.
That was a great experience.
Good squad.
Right.
I'm telling you, karaoke sucked though. But anyways, I'm still bitter about it. Whatever.
So I weighed these out. We have about 4 ounces in here each, so we'll go back for seconds in a sec. But let's give it a taste.
It feels good in the hand.
It does. It's nice. Let's sniff them. Getting those real dank, hoppy notes. So I'm excited.
That's good.
Fantastic.
The dank
beer.
is there for sure.
Fantastic beer, and there's I'm catching some like citrusy notes almost too, which is like the perfect complement to the dank. It's not very strong at all. Like the dank is definitely first and foremost. Fantastic beer. Love it. If you're in Vegas or you happen to see Dank Dog from Big Dogs Brewing Company, give it a shot. It is a great one. I love this beer.
Yeah. The citrus though, I don't know. I'm not tasting as much.
I don't know if it's like citrus, but there's some kind of sweeter note on the back end. Like it lingers.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But the dankness is there. It's got that bitterness that I enjoy in a beer. This is one I would go back to again and again.
Again, I have more lacing than you. I think it's the way I sip it. Like
No, I just poured it differently. I noticed when I was pouring, I poured yours better.
Oh.
But I like this beer. This is great. We're going to be talking tonight about a really good movie. But first, let's talk about some news. While we were setting up.
Yeah, there was
mentioned
something
it.
You shared with me through like a link, and I didn't watch it. And the second I opened Instagram,
First thing on there.
first thing like just on
Big news, I'm sad.
It was on like Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, saying how Quentin Tarantino is not going to be. He's bailing on the movie critic, which is supposed to be his final 10th film. Yep, which is a big deal. But it didn't. What it said was he's like thinking through what the next one will be. So it's not like. It's not like he's not going to have another film.
Yeah, the one I saw said he's going back to the drawing board for his final film. I'm just bummed because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite movie of his. And I think it's just because he's dealing with the subject that he knows the best, which is cinema in the 70s. And this movie is going to be the exact same thing.
Do you know why? I didn't read the article. Do you know why he's bailing?
I just saw headlines. And no, I mean, he does this once in a while. He almost scrapped The Hateful Eight when it was about to come out too, because somebody leaked the script and or was that Django? I forget. One of his Westerns, the script got leaked. I want to say it was Hateful Eight, and he almost bailed on it completely because he was so upset. So he does that. He had, like, Kill Bill 3 is somewhere on his drawing board. He has a bunch of stories from like the same like world as Inglourious Bastards. Like he wanted to do an all black African American troupe in World War II story, and he scrapped that. So he does this all the time. This is not abnormal. I'm just bummed that he's scrapping something that I felt could have been a masterpiece.
Because I thought he was in the works on it already. Like
he was like, he had to cast, like Brad Pitt was already signed on to it. I think Tom Cruise might have been in talks. And then I forget his name. That one fat dude from Cobra Kai was in talks to be like the main character. I don't remember his name.
I remember what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but so no, I'm really sad about that. That was going to be, I think that had the potential to be one of his best movies.
Yeah.
So I'm very sad. Very sad.
Well, you know what, man? I feel like it just means maybe the skin is shedded and it will be something. There's layers to an onion. You're just, getting
I'm
a new
hoping
layer.
we get something better, something awesome.
Yeah, man. So, well, let's cheers before we forget. Did we cheers yet?
We did, but let's do it again.
Did we?
These are good beers.
Better. Ooh, these hit better.
These hit nicely. This glass is good quality glass.
Did we really cheers? Man, I feel like that scene in, not to spoil alert, but in Resident Alien, the new show.
Good show.
Where
check it out.
He
Netflix.
like wipes their memory away.
Yep.
Like
you're
little
getting
things.
into it too now.
Yeah, I'm deep into second season, dude.
Good, dude.
Speaking of shows, okay, to help warm us up for what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about this show on Netflix. Let's talk about Nature Boy.
Oh, dude, Nature Boy 6. So that's
building us into the main
precursor to our main movie tonight, which if you're clicking on the title, you'll see what it is. It's Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler, which I think is one of the most fantastic movies of the past like 20 or so years. Anyways, let's get on to Nature Boy. I like that.
Is that okay? Can we dive into that?
Yeah, let's start with Nature Boy, because we watched this one separately, which I don't like to do for discussions on the podcast. But we had our main movie, so I was like, let's just get some supplementation in on there. So I recommended Evan check out Nature Boy because I was watching it.
Let me paint a picture real quick, and I don't know if you can relate to this picture or not, but I'm 12-year-old boy, right? 11, 12, watching John Cena or somebody. I don't know who it was, but
would have been Undertaker for me. Undertaker, Randy Orton, those guys.
Yeah, and John Cena was kind of that era.
He was.
That WrestleMania like 30, 31, 35.
Yep.
So you get Ric Flair coming out. And as a kid, you're like, what is this guy doing with the woos? But everybody in the crowd is wooing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this guy's so old. But he's doing. I never thought of him as like somebody who's been in the wrestling game forever. I was like, no, he's a current contender.
Yep.
And then you get the curtain drawn back on his life, and it's insane, dude.
Crazy stuff.
Like, Anyway, so initial thoughts of the documentary.
I thought it was a great documentary. It's a great examination of a life. I also watched his or listened to his podcast with Joe Rogan, which was super interesting. Kind of just dive deep into the same story of his life and everything. And you got to find out a little more about what he's currently doing, just because it's like a more natural conversation than a documentary is. So that was really cool to see. But it was a great documentary. Learned a lot. I liked how they had the animations of stuff that happened in the past, so you kind of get a taste for what's going on. Like whenever they were talking about his partying. They would animate it. Yeah, and you could kind of see Ric Flair doing his thing in a cheesy little animation.
Yes, cool. That was a fun little flavor to it. And what's interesting is the way he was posted up in that small dark room. And
I feel like that's. I wish I paid more attention. Were they in like a wrestling area?
Oh, good question.
I think they might have been in a ring, dude.
Oh,
I can't remember now. I wasn't paying enough attention because, since like I said, since it wasn't one of the main things we watched for the show, I just wanted to kind of have it on in the background, get some knowledge, just because I know this is something we've both always talked about. Like, we used to be wrestling fans. I'm kind of getting back into it. Just, I don't know if you've seen how Triple H is handling WWE. It's super cool. Yeah. Iron Claw came out last year and got me really back into it.
Yeah, wrestling in itself is almost like a wave of not theme, but like genre. I don't know if that's a genre. It's within a genre. It's a subgenre. It's a part of like sports,
Sports entertainment is what they call it now.
But wrestling itself, which we're gonna get into the movie later about they're called The Wrestler. It's just interesting to see the parallel between, because there's got to be other wrestling movies that are also very dramatic. I don't know, maybe not.
I have no clue either, because so I was always familiar with The Wrestler. I had seen that movie a while ago, which is the one we watched. Just finished it a couple minutes ago. But I was going into the Iron Claw assuming it would be similar, and while it had its similarities, it was a very unique story because it was a true story. Whereas The Wrestler is a written piece of fiction, so they kind of had more liberty, and I think it was more of like an expose of what happens to these guys, which was really cool. And you kind of get that with the Ric Flair one, except Ric Flair's not really down on his luck today. So that's the main difference. Because I think when interviewed about the wrestler, Mickey Rourke kind of based his character off Ric Flair, but that doesn't technically make sense because Ric Flair's making on Joe Rogan's podcast, which I think the episode came out like last year at some point, he said that he's technically making more money now than he ever has in his life, just selling like merchandise and stuff.
Wow. Because I know I didn't get that far in the interview with Joe Rogan, but the documentary painted a picture that made me think like, hey, he's like broke.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that because he seems to be doing good. He has like a cannabis line and stuff that he's doing really well with. I think he has something called like RicFlairShop.com that I guess his wife runs and makes a lot of money. He has homes all over the place, he was saying. So he's still doing decent. I think at one point he wasn't doing so well. I think he went over to like TNA, which is the wrestling that they do a lot of shows here in Vegas. I think he went over there at one point because he just felt kind of like depressed about it, is what they said in the documentary. Do you remember that part? He felt like he wasn't himself or something.
I just remember it showcasing him not like doing so hot in the wrestling world. Like he was more of
I think the documentary really pulled on that just to get your heartstrings, to keep it entertaining too, because they really went in on his whole son having passed situation, which I wasn't familiar with that. I had no idea. Did you know about that?
No. Nope.
That was sad. And that's what we were talking about tonight. These, all this stuff that isn't the showboaty wrestling you watch on TV, that's not the scripted WWE stuff, is for some reason it's so dramatic, so gut-wrenching, so painful to watch. Like The Wrestler's a very sad movie. We'll talk more about the ending in a sec. But Iron Claw, dude, we were crying in the theater. Mm-hmm. The Ric Flair thing, when they start talking about how his son OD'd, I was like, oh my God, I had no idea this happened to this guy.
Yeah. And that was like it was very parallel to the Iron Claw movie.
Yeah, actually. So that's why I was like, what is going on here?
But you have a more modern day, because that guy would have been like our age. Like he's a
little older than us, dude.
Oh, that's true.
Because he was already trying to become a pro wrestler in like Japan, I believe.
Yeah,
but it wasn't very long ago that he passed. I think so. Maybe like.
I think that's what I mean, is that it was like so recent.
Yeah, he died. I think he was like 22 years old. The documentary said.
Damn, that's crazy.
22 or 25, something like that.
Yeah, being so close to our age when he died, I guess. Mm-hmm. And now you have his daughter, who was not into wrestling, but was like
she's a champion
to carry that on.
She's a champion.
She's like really into it. Yeah. Oh, she's a current champ?
I don't know if current anymore, but she was up there in the women's ranks for a while at least.
Yeah, she's. I haven't watched any of her wrestling matches. But
I wasn't familiar with her either. I think she was probably big in that era between like us having given up on it, because I don't know about you, but I stopped watching it after the age of like 12 maybe. Mm-hmm. And then I hadn't
like that for me too.
Really looked at it again until like this year, and so she's probably doing her thing sometime around that point. But I guess she has a lot of his mannerisms and stuff from the clips they showed in the documentary, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dang, dude. That's cool. He must be very proud about that, to keep that on.
He is. He goes into it on the Joe Rogan interview for a while, like about how proud he is. He says that like his greatest achievement in wrestling is like her achievements, not even his own.
Well, what's ironic is wrestling pulled him away from her for so long, from his kids, right? I guess not the son, but the daughter. I think expresses that. Hey, like not a very good dad. Like he was not around, so which is. Man, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about the movie, Mickey Rourke going into The Wrestler. That's the movie. That's our main movie we're talking about. He's like, wrestling was his life, which I'm assuming is why he's probably was pulled from his daughter in the movie.
Yep. See, similar story. They like all tie these themes in.
So I wonder if Ric Flair had any, like, if they pulled anything from his life. I'm like, this is.
So Mickey Rourke says he based the character off him.
Oh, really?
But I don't think it's like a true based. Like he probably read stuff and whatnot. Excuse me, that was a weird burp. I tried to suppress it.
I don't know what to say about that one, but it was.
I don't know what I was gonna say.
It was a sad burp, dude.
I was trying to suppress it, dude.
That burp wanted to be free, and you just like pulled him right back in, dude. Yo. Anyways, that'd be an interesting thing to research or even watch a documentary on. It's like, what's Mickey Rourke's take? Because Mickey Rourke did a really good job with this film.
Well, he was a professional boxer.
But oh, really?
Yeah. So he had like a what do you call it? He had somewhat of an insider knowledge of what happens to these combat fighters. Yeah, wrestling is a completely different sport, But Mickey Rourke did have the internal like knowledge of what happens to these guys being hit so much and all that.
Well, going into The Wrestler, what I would love to ask, and this is like goes beyond just wrestling, it transcends across all sports, right? When you are, how do you, because he was like pretty famous at one point in the movie The Wrestler. I'm not sure if he was Ric Flair famous, but enough to where kids had the poster of him, his character.
He was in the video game that he played with that one kid on the Nintendo, remember?
Oh, that's right.
He has the action figures. And then, so the Iron Sheik is one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. And the Ayatollah, which is the character in The Wrestler, is definitely based off the Iron Sheik. It's the exact same story. It's like an Iranian, lord of some kind who I don't know what the proper word for that is. But yeah,
I know you're talking about.
So that's for sure the connection there. I just don't know who Randy the Ram is exactly based off. He's probably a conglomeration of multiple different 80s wrestlers. That's probably where the daughter situation comes in. Then there's like the whole like he lives in that trailer park situation. So there's all these different aspects that all just tie in together, I'm assuming.
So he must have just been bad with his money.
Yeah, see, different things like that. So like you always hear these guys who loved wrestling, and so they just really were so into it. They didn't think anything could go wrong and all this stuff, but they're all beat up, which was a huge theme in this movie too, is how beat up all of them were. That scene when they're where he's signing autographs and he's looking around the room and all the other dudes signing autographs are like in a wheelchair. One guy has like the catheter thing attached to his leg, and then all these different guys just beat up next to him, and he kind of has like a realization at that point. That's when he says he retires initially, right after that scene.
Yeah. And then he ends up working at a deli.
Yeah.
It's
just raw. And then that gets me more into like the filmmaking aspect of this movie. I love the way this movie looks. It matches the themes so perfectly. So you mentioned it while we were watching. You said this is definitely shot on film. Dude, it's shot on such a grainy film stock that just adds to that grittiness of it, that realism of like this beat down dude.
Well, let's get deep for a second, man. Because going into that beat down aspect, man, like let's talk about humanity for a second. Like, you know, beyond just the movies, but it's portraying something that's huge.
Oh yeah, people
who are parents, or not just parents, people who in general make mistakes. So in the movie, he has this glimpse of hope that he might be able to repair things with his daughter.
Very touching scene
where he heard his daughter had so much disrespect for him because of the fact that he was not around, but then his dad makes some kind of effort. She gives in a little bit to she lets him in a little bit, and then he asks her if they can go to dinner and have a kind of a second night of getting reacquainting and getting to know each other, and she says yes, and he doesn't show up, just bails. But the thing is, he tries to go back to apologize, and it's rightfully so. She's like, I can't do this with you anymore. We're done. But my question with that is, do you feel what's crazy to me is I look at this old guy, right? He's an older guy, and he makes this mistake, but I'm deep down, he's human.
Yeah.
He's human.
Yeah.
Something overpowered him that night to miss seeing his daughter. It's not like he doesn't want to be with his daughter.
Yeah, of course, because we saw him chasing her, him trying to do stuff on his own time for her and stuff.
So what overpowered? Was it addiction? Was it
I think that's a big theme of the movie. So yeah, I think that's the thing is, and it's not necessarily a drug addiction or something like that. It's just addiction to his lifestyle. Because I think right before he missed that date was that night he was out just doing horrible stuff, where he snorted the line, where he was with that random lady. He woke up in her apartment the next day. And so I think it's just an addiction to this lifestyle that he lived. You know what I mean?
So it helped him feel like his younger days, maybe
something there. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's crazy. And then he gets in there, and there's a parrot in the girl's room that he wakes up with. A ferret. That's what I meant. Ferret.
That's why he kind of creeped out by it.
But it's also a realization, wow, I missed my daughter's dinner for this. There's a ferret.
Yeah.
In this room.
And it was covered in posters of firefighters. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, she was just a weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, that whole scene was all bad. But anyways, the scene where he loses is, you know what, man, when he's working at a deli, he like it's after his daughter just basically disowned him.
Mm-hmm. She never doesn't want anything to do with him at this point.
Yeah. And he goes in there, he purposely cuts his hand in the blade to help incentivize his quitting.
Yeah, the meat slicer. And that's just such a brutal scene.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
He just punches it. Like full throttle while the thing's going. It has a
motor in it.
How
did he not cut his finger off?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then just the amount of blood in that scene is just like, knowing how realistic that is, like the possibility of cutting yourself one of those made that scene so powerful. That was like, like I said, I had seen the movie a long time ago. I remember really liking it. That scene stuck in my head so deeply for some reason.
Can I share that you were a butcher at one point?
Yeah, so that's why, because I worked with one of those all the time.
So did you ever experience anybody that cut their hands off or cut
I
their
never
hands?
did. And it wasn't one of those. I saw a dude slice his palm off on a bandsaw one time.
Oh man!
But that was
Well, it could have been worse. I mean,
could have been way worse.
I'm not saying that's not bad, but like, geez, that must be such an easy way to take your hand off.
Dude, a bandsaw too. It's just a saw that just goes on a motor like this.
Yeah,
insanely fast.
Is it like a jigsaw?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like it's to cut through bones, like on big pieces of animal carcass.
Gosh.
So it's just flying.
How's that guy's hand now? Is it look all messed up?
Dude, I have no clue because it happened while I was there.
Let's find him right now and be like, hey, dude, how's your hand? Can we show the picture on the podcast?
That'd be brutal.
Man, yeah, that's crazy. Imagine living. Do you have any like accidents that happen to you in terms of injuries that you can vividly remember happening to you?
I just remember one time, I have two. I sliced the tip of my thumb off one time cutting tomatoes. It wasn't that bad.
Gosh.
But another time, I got my thumb stuck in the spoke of the bike, and it spun around and just took like the whole top of my thumb off.
What? Can I see?
It doesn't. You can't tell.
Oh, it grew.
Yeah,
was it reattached or?
No, the skin just like peeled off, like but deep. It was just like all of it gone. That was weird.
Again, that could have been so bad.
Yeah, it could have been horrible.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, there's nothing there. You can't tell at all.
Oh, goodness gracious, dude. I remember I was riding a bike one time, just doing my thing, and I was wearing a hat, not a helmet, and it was my friend's hat, and I'm like, I cared about the hat. I didn't want to lose it, and it blew off my head. I let go of my bike with both hands to grab the hat, flew off my bike, skinned like all my arms. Like I was going so fast down a hill.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I was walking home, just like all bleeding and just had a mile walk. It was not good. But anyways, yours is gnarlier. But it just reminded me of the bike stories. Anyway, speaking of bikes, you want another beer?
Say your classic. I'll have another.
Yeah,
yours is way better than mine.
Poor.
Oh, the door's open.
Well, I just really got aggressive with it.
Oh, dude. Anyways, that movie though is so good. I recommend anyone watch it. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to watch it. It's a good movie. It's about humanity. Honestly.
And that's what I kind of like about where we're going with this, dude. I think some of the conversations we have, I'm saying this real time right now, like the conversations we can have about the themes.
Yeah.
They go beyond just being a movie lover. Like let's like diving into the themes anyone should be able, a lot of people can relate to. Thank you, Nisha.
Ooh, I'm excited. So this is an annual release, changes up a little bit every year. First time I ever had it, I fell in love with it, and I look for it every year.
Wait, I thought we were splitting these.
No.
You dirty dog, dude. Sorry, keep going, dude.
So these are 11.7% alcohol by volume. We're going to be pouring these into our tekus. So we'll have these removed.
Sorry, folks. This whole time I thought I was drinking the higher percentage drink, and now
that thing was 6%.
I understand where you're going with this now. Okay. All
right, go ahead and crack that bad boy open, buddy.
Were you all also going for the dog theme?
No, that's a good catch. Yeah, Lagunitas has that classic dog logo on there, so the matches up as well. But no, I was just going for the April releases, very high dank beers. This is Lagunitas is the Waldos Special Ale Triple IPA, 11.7% alcohol.
I was waiting for
that. Was sick, dude.
Dude,
I
can't
sick.
Get it out, bro.
Just leave it. You're good. It looks better. So I'm gonna pour this into our tekus. Okay. This should be a phenomenal tasting experience out of these glasses.
Never mind.
You have to finish the thought now.
No, I had a filter.
Okay.
I'm embracing my filter.
I realized if I put these out of the way, they don't block us while we're filming. All right. Let's go ahead and cheers these bad boys.
All right, cheers, eh?
The clink after the last clink is so
the little
depressing.
clinks are way better. Oh, that smells really good, huh? Smells like it's been barreled for years and we just found it in the treasure.
Try that.
I like it.
All right, you can get that off your eye, buddy. That looks like it hurts.
Well, let me try the other eye first.
You kind of just sound like...
How's the other eye?
You kind of just sound like an angry McGregor.
I just more Irish.
Yeah.
I do feel like Irish and pirates. I'm not gonna lie. I probably shouldn't say this, but the never mind. I don't want to lose our Irish.
I know. If you look at our analytics, like all 19 of us, our subscribers are Irish.
Most of them watched the McGregor episode. That's the thing. We had like twice as much, like 80 viewers, or no, 40 views on that one.
All right, so we have to appeal to our Irish audience then.
Which is
Wait,
40.
is he Irish? Yes, Irish.
But how do we don't know if it was just because of him, but
dude, it was a good thumbnail.
It was a good thumbnail.
And McGregor
he's like heavy in the alcohol scene.
That's true.
He has
a Propa 12. Have you tried that?
No, I actually have not. I would actually like to. That'd be fun.
It's not bad. It's not good either. It's just like
that's the thing. That's how I feel about the Rocks tequila.
Haven't tried it. I heard it was good though.
I've tried it. I've tried it. It's not like it's not. I mean, it's good. I shouldn't say it's okay. It's good. It's not. But I like George Clooney's.
We've had this discussion.
Better. Yeah. I know we've talked. Yeah. But I will stand to that till the day I die. Until I go to Mexico and have like the best Mexican like the tequila that is like, you know, I just think George Clooney's is good. No, anyways,
having some of my beer stolen off camera. How do you like the beer?
Well, let me actually. I was kind of in character, so let me.
In character as a Irish pirate. What's the thought process? Walk us through a taste. Guide us through your taste bud experience at the moment. Wow, you're really thinking it through.
No, I am. There's a word I'm thinking of. So it's, well, to me it tastes like the depths of a forest.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. It's
really?
Just dank. It's just dank and earthy, dude.
Good, but...
No, that's perfect. It's dank and earthy. The depths of a forest. So it's like musty, dark.
Yeah. Partly because of the looks too. I don't know. Like
we've had this discussion before too. I feel like malty. There you go. Dude.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, okay. But going back to the high alcohol content on this one, I feel like there's that bittersweetness that you kind of get in something other than a beer. So it's like this reminds me of like a barley wine.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion like last week. It's 11.7, so it is up there in terms of percent, like wine. It's bitter in a way that makes it super sweet. Is that all good over there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, just checking. Anyways, I love this beer. Every year that it comes out around April, I'm looking for it. I saw 2 cases of this in the store, 2 6-packs, I should say. I bought them both just in case because it's sold out fast in the past.
This one did? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lagunitas is I think that's a household name for beer. Like you hear that and you're like, yeah,
I want to say that's true, but I think that's because we're both from California and that's where Lagunitas is from. Because I thought the same thing about Stone.
Because Trader Joe's has, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought the same thing about Stone, and it's a lot harder to find Stone even in Nevada than it is in California.
That is, yeah, I remember you taught me that. That's interesting. Okay. So this is a highly limited release.
Yep. Once a year for 420. And that's about it. Once it's gone, it's gone.
I like that's cool, man. I like the texture of the paper.
I think all Lagunitas are like that.
Oh, really?
I think so, if I remember correctly.
This is for all the treasure hunters, which is funny because I was just talking about treasure.
That's strange, dude.
Did you
know
see that? No, that's weird.
I forget. There's a weird backstory. It says right here on the back. One afternoon in 1971 at 4:20 p.m., the Waldos met in front of their school by a statue of Louis Pasteur. He's the guy who had something to do with pasteurization. I know that much. Anyways, armed with the treasure map, they set out in a 66 Impala on a journey to find a secret garden somewhere near Point Reyes. They never found it, but they kept looking. Same time every day. The dankest and hoppiest beer ever brewed at Lagunitas was made with the help of the Waldos for all the treasure hunters. I don't know where that is.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up because I'm familiar with that. Like I've
it sounds familiar.
It's near San Diego.
I feel like it would be up north, to be honest with you. Petaluma's up north, isn't it?
Oh, Point Reyes. Yeah. No, I feel like. Hold on. Where is Point?
Petaluma's where the main Lagunitas brewery is, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it's got to be up there somewhere, I'm assuming. But so in terms of the film we watched, let's cut back. Oh no, you find something?
Right. So you're right. No, it's I should have known this because I've been there a long time ago. It's once when I was 5. I'm just kidding.
There's a theme of Evan knowing every place.
Well, I mean, the reason I'm familiar with it is I've driven through it or something like that. But it's because it's not far from where I lived. It's north of San Francisco. It's off Highway 1.
Yeah, of course.
When you live near an hour away from there, it's like everything. All those you hit all the spots.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Anyways, good call, man. Good memory. But
was
go ahead.
Movie. Did you think that was award worthy? Let's cut into our awards game we usually do on this show.
So I want to say yes, but it depends on if it was in the same season we were in, because you know how we go in the waves.
Yep. Like I said,
don't know
nothing I really want to watch is out right now. So just
because
give
the
it a guess.
Holdovers got like a nominations, and they're filmed on film. It's a film that gives me similar vibes in terms of the simplicity,
the humanity,
and the humanity. I'm gonna say it wasn't though. I'm gonna say it didn't get any noms.
You say none at all.
Actually, Mickey Rourke, Best Actor.
Correct.
Really?
Didn't win, but correct. One more.
Okay. Best Supporting Actress. The person.
You got it, dude.
Really?
Marissa Tomei, yeah.
Dang.
That was the 2 Oscar noms.
Did she win?
Nope.
Dang,
but 2 noms, dude.
Wow.
That's awesome. Because at first you didn't think it won anything.
I know. And then I was like,
awesome.
Well, and then I realized that's a good cast.
Like, it was a good cast. Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei. I'm not sure how you say it. But
she's really, she was very like vulnerable in that movie.
Yeah. Him too. Both the roles. What, like that scene where he's telling her he had the heart attack and she kind of brushes him off. Like you see the pain in his eyes. That's a good performance. He was kind of like, yeah, I'll be okay. But you know he's not okay.
He knows he's about to die.
Yeah.
That's
to go into the ending. If you want to actually go watch this movie, skip forward a little bit. But that ending,
when she wasn't there,
and then he just jumps off the top rope, even though he's having that chest pain clearly, and then it just cuts to black.
Yeah.
But first it just lingers.
Ooh. Was he happy she left?
I don't know, because he was going through that pain for a while, and the Ayatollah character, he's kind of like, hey, Ram, we can, like, are you okay? Let's stop this. The ref's like, let's stop this. And then he keeps beating on him a little bit, but the guy doesn't want to do anything back because he can tell he's in pain. He looks out, sees she's gone. And then he climbs up the ropes, and he's like hesitating on those top ropes, just clearly in pain.
And the blacks out.
He jumps off the ropes, and the camera doesn't move, so he goes past the camera, and it's just like hovers there forever, letting you wonder what's going to happen. Like, when's the cut? And then it cuts to black, and then the song comes on, the Bruce Springsteen song.
Which was written for this movie, you said?
Written for the movie, yeah.
So Mickey Rourke, that's impressive. So Mickey Rourke's like the same age as Springsteen, huh? Like they're the same.
I have no clue. I really don't know, dude. I know that Mickey Rourke was coming up in like the 70s. When was Bruce Springsteen's like peak?
Great question, actually. I know that his peak was when they did We Are the World, and they did We Are the World. I mean, no joke.
That's 90s, right?
And they did We Are the World. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say his peak then. But I just know that he was still so popular when they did it. And it was...
Music's different than acting,
it was the
though.
80s. It was the 80s.
80s?
Yeah, it was like mid-80s. So I think that might have been his, like...
That's interesting, then.
No, actually, you know what it was? That must have been when he had his hits out. And he was doing his hits tours.
Oh, maybe.
If he was 10 years prior, like, got them all out, yeah. Anyways... I was listening to this video about music, this guy talking about music and how it, just like it's associated with memories.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
What make you think of?
It just makes me think of like if you listen to certain songs, how you can like kind of transport yourself mentally back somewhere, right?
Yeah. Because I can think right now about the what you said. I can think about the emotions I feel with this movie when I hear the type of song that Bruce Springsteen played at the end.
Yeah.
It was powerful. Even if I hear a similar song, it doesn't have to be the same type of song.
Thinking back to like that whole memory thing too, like that's one shot scene that I thought was very powerful is when he's walking through the back of the supermarket. And as he's walking through the back of it, the camera's following behind him, kind of Goodfellas style. And the cheers start up as if he's about to make his walk out into the ring. And as soon as he gets out into the deli, it just dies off. And it's kind of like his career just died off with him right there.
But what's interesting is when he did that, he was actually in a very good mood. And he was doing a very good thing. And I think that's
because maybe he came to grips with the fact that his wrestling career was over. Right then and there, he was like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to do this.
Do you think the writer, the writer who wrote the movie, do you think it was intended to give us this feeling of, hey, he came to peace with it? Or is it meant to make us feel like, man, this guy really lost it?
I think it was kind of like he was coming to peace with it until he screwed himself all up again. And that kind of was like a juxtaposition to how he did that initially, too. Because he was apparently this big wrestler. Like we said, he had action figures and posters and video games. And then he fell. And then he was building up his life again. He went out with his daughter. He went and got this job that he was kind of enjoying. Like you said, he was having a good time at the job. He went out with Marissa Tomei's character, who he clearly liked. And then he destroyed all that again.
And how did he... What's funny is, like, I feel like if he played his cards just a little more carefully with all of those relationships... Well, daughter...
With everything, dude.
Daughter would have been easy to, big mistake. But, like... What did he do wrong with Melissa Tomei's character? He went into the strip club, and he basically butted heads with what she said by making fun of her stripping, like her, being.
It's just a rough situation in general, I guess. That's a sensitive career, and I think the fact that she let him into her personal life, told him she had a son, and then he came back at her with that when she was like not getting along with him at the strip club. The fact that he used the fact that she was sensitive about being a stripper, I think, is what threw it over.
Dang, that was a power move. Not a good move. But then she comes back and supports
so
him.
I don't know what happened there. When she was at the wrestling ring and then he looks up at the end and she's gone.
Well, I think she just didn't want to see him die.
You think so? You think it was like clear he's dying?
Yeah, I think she knew.
So that's your guess. So like blackout, he died.
Well, she also found. I think, dude. I the moment he says, "You guys are my family," to the crowd.
Yeah.
I think there was a genuine sense of genuinity.
I'm trying to think of the word genuinity. As you're doing this too, and
it's just hard to say, man. But I think
authenticity would be
authenticity. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
I like when we do this.
Authentic, yeah, it happens every time. I think it was very authentic, man. And I think she was like, hey, you know what? I can see he means that. I can see that it's terrible. He's about to he's doing this with his heart attack that he had because he did have a heart attack.
Yep. Pretty early on in the movie. I think that was like the big turning point.
Is why he retired.
Yep.
But he had to do it because he went cray and quit his, only source of income at the deli.
And he was definitely not even doing well off of that.
Exactly. And so he's like, but he had to make money, right? So he goes back and does his thing for this fan fest. So it's like a big event where fans are coming to see. Like they were genuinely cheering for him.
Anniversary of his fight with this Ayatollah character.
Oh, okay.
20 years later. And so like if what I'm saying has any correlation to reality, if it was like an anniversary fight of two big wrestlers in the 80s, and this guy really is based off the Iron Sheik, that was a huge event. It would have been an enormous event for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like how I was saying, it's kind of based off Ric Flair. It kind of would have been like Ric Flair fighting another one of those huge dudes from the 80s.
Yeah,
maybe not to that degree, like we said, but up there for sure. Yeah.
No, that's a good connection. I like that you're saying that because it kind of makes it feel more like it gives a little more real to it. Mm-hmm. Real quick, we're having a good conversation, but I want to do a quick mic check. Are you sounding good?
I feel a little echoey.
Same here, which is weird because there should be no reason that's happening. But at the same time, I know when we edit it, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
It'll be okay.
It's fine. It's not
I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy because it does sound a little echoey.
Yeah, I noticed it first on me, but now it's kind of happening to you too.
But it didn't sound like that at first, huh?
No. How's that? That might be better. No, I don't know.
Oh, you did sound better.
Just plug you.
Just mess with it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Live.
Okay.
Untold.
We'll take it.
That feels better. A little bit.
You sound better.
You do too. Okay, let's keep it going.
All right. It's whatever it is, we're good. Anyways, so
the other piece of news I wanted to hit you with.
let's go to it.
This is something we've had a lot of discussion about in the past. Something we're definitely going to want to check out in theaters together. It's going to be a huge event. Leonardo DiCaprio just got cast alongside Jennifer Lawrence as Frank Sinatra and his wife, directed by Martin Scorsese.
No way.
Yes, it was announced today.
Wait, Jennifer Lawrence
as Ava Gardner and Leo as Frank Sinatra, directed by the one and only Scorsese.
Wow.
Yeah. So if this comes to fruition, awesome. But honestly, can we even get our hopes up anymore? Like, look what happened to this to the movie critic.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
And then how many other movies I've heard that Scorsese's behind that just don't ever really happen.
But
you know,
really? I don't know. I don't really know of any.
It just happens. Yeah. Hollywood is just a confusing place right now. And like,
but even with their notoriety, it still happens.
It's just like, it's not even like, sometimes it's just like creative differences or time differences, scheduling conflicts. But if this goes through, this would be a phenomenal movie.
It's a cool one, man. I was thinking back at the time that Giancarlo, what I was trying to say is we brought this up on the podcast before. Did we talk about our experience at the cover? What do you call it?
The Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack tribute.
Yes, that one. Yeah, we did talk about that.
Anyways, I was just watching or driving by and I saw the billboard for it.
Yeah. It's been all over the place recently. I want to go back.
And that's the thing. I'm down. It's it just makes me think like, so Leonardo DiCaprio is playing
Sinatra.
Wow.
It's going to be so cool.
So I wonder who's going to like feature the other Rat Pack in the movie.
There's we're going to have to get some Sammy Davis, Dean Martin, and Pete, what's his name? Peter something.
Dude,
I forget.
You know what I didn't realize until I heard an interview, is that, what's that guy's name who plays, he's in a lot of movies. Hotel Rwanda, I think.
Gosh darn it, dude.
Don Cheadle, who's also an incredible jazz musician, apparently. He played Sammy Davis Jr.
In what?
In a biopic.
Wait, there's a biopic Sammy Davis Jr.?
Yeah.
Why didn't I know
I don't know what it's called, but I'm
going to have to look that up. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I love those guys. I always have.
And he has that musical background, so...
Makes sense. Makes sense. Sammy Davis Jr. is a talented guy. He was. The guy who portrayed him in the tribute was really good, too. He didn't really look like him, but he was a good performer.
Was his personality similar? Like,
I think so.
What you know?
Yeah, that really, really lively personality. I think the best in terms of looks was Dean Martin. I said that the last time we brought it up. That Dean Martin dude is good.
And his everything overall.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Good. He was a fun dude.
He was. We got to meet him. That was cool.
Yeah, it was still a trip to hear that Princess Leia's brother.
Oh yeah, he was right in front of us. That's right. I forgot about that.
What's
Carrie Fisher's brother was there in the audience with us.
That's crazy. And he was so authentically, going back to that word.
Why do we stick to
that? That should be a new word. That's authentic. He was very like interested in talking to this guy who was portraying Dean Martin.
Because I guess who was it? He said was really close. He was really close to, or no, he was close to Dean Martin's son, I think is what he said.
Okay.
Which is why he wanted to talk to Dean Martin's actor. I don't know. Something like that.
Oh, right.
That was what I caught something like that.
But if I were that guy, I would have been stoked. Like,
right?
To be talking to this guy. That's so cool.
It's a cool situation. You could pick his brain and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Like you have complete authority in that position to ask and engage in good dialogue with this guy.
For sure.
He's talking about you. Let me talk about you. Like, let's go back and forth here.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool way to just rap with someone for a little bit.
Or even just to learn about Dean Martin's son. Like,
yeah, I'm sure he had some stories. Mm-hmm. But that's cool. So I'm excited about that movie coming out.
Mid-cheer. That's still lame.
Yeah, dude. Those little mini ones have the best cheers. We should just fake a cheers with those every time.
Yeah. How do you like about, or what's your thoughts? I'm going to ask you real time here. How do you like about, what are your, you hear that question?
That was great.
What are your thoughts on diving deep into movies? Because movies, it's easy to go into a rabbit hole of themes, into sub themes, into like all these takeaways that can like be almost so deep. But do you enjoy it? Because I enjoy it.
So we could definitely go deeper. I feel like if we were to sit down and just analyze some of the movies we talk about a little bit more before we have these conversations, we could definitely get into it more. Like,
but are you enjoying that aspect of it?
Oh, that's my favorite part, dude. Like, I don't know how to find ways to naturally bring it up, but just things like the camera movement. I don't know if you noticed this in the wrestler movie. The camera movement was super important. Like, there's the scene. He gets out of the driver's seat of the van, and he tells his daughter to wait, and he rushes around the front of the van to open the door for her, and the camera follows him, and it's super rough. The camera's like shaking following him, and if you catch it, it does that throughout the whole movie. It follows him, and it's super rough, just like his life. It's just intentionally rough. Like they do this handheld cam so often, and it's always insanely shaky, always.
On purpose.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a Darren Aronofsky thing. Like that's definitely a choice he made. Dang, it's like a common thing. He always gets into these close-ups too. Really lets you see what the characters are thinking. Like how I said when you can see the pain in his eyes when he tells her he has a heart attack and she kind of brushes it off. It's a close-up on his eyes and you can kind of just feel the pain. And it's done through that shot.
And so it tells a lot about the shot. And I will say, I mean, I think not to discredit the shot, like of course. But his acting is something else, man. Like, I didn't realize how good of an actor he was until watching this movie again.
I can't really think of anything else I've seen him in. I think he was in The Pope of Greenwich Village, which
he's a legend, right?
He is a legend.
Oh, I'm like, 100%. He's in a bunch of stuff.
I can't, off the top of my head, though. It doesn't come to me. I think Pope of Greenwich Village and this are like the two main movies I think of when I hear his name. And then he's the narrator of Generation Iron, which is like the biggest bodybuilding documentary ever made, which is a really good one. But yeah, besides Pumping Iron, that's a good one. Have you seen that?
I have.
So good. Like that's an interesting thought too. Something like Pumping Iron, where like you've seen, and you really don't have interest in bodybuilding, like really, do you?
No. And it's
I wonder
been a long
how many
time
people
since I watched it, but go ahead.
I wonder how many people who just have zero interest in bodybuilding have seen that movie, because it's just such a famous movie just because of who's in it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just a bodybuilding.
I mean,
documentary.
Arnold like changed the game
for everything. Just like he kind of defined what it was to be a man in the 80s, 90s kind of.
But it's so interesting to think about these older guys who are like Mickey Rourke. Like he's probably the same age as Arnold.
Let's see. Because Arnold's in his 70s.
But he's
Arnold's
such a better actor.
He looks good. Yeah.
I mean,
Arnold is not an actor. He's famous for his look.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
But that's a whole, what's funny is that's a whole category in itself. Like The Rock.
The Rock is the exact same situation.
You know what I mean?
100%. And John Cena's kind of going there, but honestly, John Cena's kind of funny.
I think he's mastering the art of comedic acting.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
He's focusing on that so he can get really good at that.
He's doing really well, though. So Mickey Rourke, 71 years old.
He's only 71?
Yeah. Oh, you know what he was in that I forgot about? He was in Iron Man 2. He played the villain. Totally forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
He's in The Expendables. Rumblefish, which is a Francis Ford Coppola movie. Sin City. The Pope of Greenwich Village, which I mentioned. Year of the Dragon. That's another one of his earlier movies. But Get Carter. I think that's a Stallone movie.
What's his net worth, dude? Let's do net worths.
Net worths?
I love that.
These are always so wrong, but let's see. Mickey Rourke. I feel like he might be considered kind of washed up at this point too. What do you think? He might be considered kind of like.
Yeah, I mean,
I say 10 million. That's nothing nowadays.
That's it?
10 million, yeah.
That's all it is?
Yeah, that's what I said.
For his age with royalties and all that stuff, you would think he'd have way more.
So it looks like he earns about $1 million to $2 million a year at this point, because he's not active really. So that probably is all royalties though.
But he's got to be definitely, what's called when he's definitely got to be admired by a lot of actors because he's so good. I mean, it's clear.
He really is. I wonder what he's like in person, because like he kind of looks kind of funky. You know what I mean? So
he's definitely had some.
Yeah. So I feel like he has like. He's probably got a weird personality too, a little bit, just like some of these Hollywood dudes do.
Also, when you're 70, you don't really care what people think anymore. Like once you're like,
that's true.
Not to knock. You know, my dad's like 75. It's like, how old's your dad?
Hang on. Let me think. I know this off the top of my head normally. 64.
Oh, okay.
64 this year. So he's 63 currently. Yeah.
Okay.
I always thought my dad was older compared to most kids my age.
Your dad's young, dude.
But apparently, if your dad's 75.
But my dad, you know what? I used to think 70 was like so old. And I look at my dad, I'm like, you know what? No joke. Today's 70s.
I was going to say it's different nowadays.
It is different.
We're going to live longer, I think.
Yeah.
You just know things nowadays that you didn't know. Like,
yeah.
In the 50s, cigarettes were healthy.
No, for real. No, it really is true. You meet all these people who are like...
My dad looks way older than he is, though.
Really?
Yeah, so there's two sides to it. Because my dad smokes and stuff. Like cigarettes and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, and he works really hard. So, okay. But yeah, so there's that flip side of the coin, too. But there's people who had the opportunity to work like office jobs, maybe not smoke, be a little bit healthier. They look way better. Like my dad looks older than Arnold. Arnold's like 30 years older than my dad.
Your dad's a chef. He's like doing this thing.
Yeah. But then there's people who work out.
He looks older than Arnold?
Yeah. They like if you put them next to each other, they look like they're the same age.
Arnold also does look young though for his age.
But that's my point is there's people out there who are old and look young, but my dad's like younger and looks old. So
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. He'd get so mad if he listened to this.
I know my dad would. So if my dad heard me even mention his name on a pie, like, I'm not even saying anything bad.
Say his full name and address.
Yeah,
social security number too.
My dad doesn't drink water, dude. I'm like, dude, how are you like?
My dad lives off soda and espresso.
Really?
And cigarettes.
Dang,
so
dude.
Yeah.
Well. That was an interesting aside we just went on.
That was really weird. How do we get to these positions?
The thing is, you get there and people, if anyone's listening, maybe they can connect. Maybe they're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I get you. You know what I'm saying? Or they can't.
I do that all the time, like with random podcasts that I just don't even know what I'm listening to anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who are these guys? What are they talking about?
I love that when you get real. And that's the thing also too, when we're sipping beer, we're like, we go on.
It just happens. Another good podcast kind of related to what we talked about tonight was The Undertaker on Joe Rogan. So good.
Oh yeah,
so good. That dude is so different from like the personality he played on TV.
Oh yeah.
And he said on Joe Rogan one time for like 30 years while he was playing this character, The Undertaker, when he would go out in public, even like completely off the clock, he just played the character.
Really?
He wanted to sell that wrestling wasn't that fake.
Wow.
And so he's like a normal dude, but he went out in public dressed in all black. He wouldn't talk to anyone. He didn't do interviews until he did that Joe Rogan interview. He was saying like it was weird to be on an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, what's fascinating is on WrestleMania, he was dressed like a normal guy.
You talking about this most recent one?
Because
he's
choke slams The Rock.
Yeah. He said that he switched his contract from wrestler to legend.
That's a thing?
Yeah, I guess so. I had no idea either. So like he has a contract with the WWE still, but it's just he's not an active wrestler. He's considered a legend, which he's a legend.
That's
good story.
Sick.
Tying it back to the Iron Claw. Do you know how he got famous? Or not famous, but how he came up?
No.
So he paid this dude $2,000 while he was in college, and it was everything he owned. He sold all his belongings, everything, $2,000. He gave it to this guy who was going to train him to professionally wrestle. And he would go to this dude's house and wrestle like in his front yard to learn to wrestle. But it was just amateur stuff. Like he never learned anything. One day he goes to the guy's house, the guy disappeared. And so he was out $2,000. And so he's like, how do I make it now? Like that's everything I own. He lived in Texas. He went to the Von Erich's office every single Wednesday for 8 months and just sat there. And then one day Fritz, the dad from the movie, was like, who's this kid in the lobby? And they were like, he comes here and he like wants to get a show. Like he wants to go fight. And he was like, he kind of looks like my son David who died. Put him on one day. And so he gave him his first match. Yeah.
Just by showing up every freaking...
And he said he was about to quit. It happened right at the end of the 8-month mark and he was like getting ready to quit, and that's when it happened.
Wow.
But dude, isn't that a crazy tie-in? Because I didn't know who the Von Erichs really were until Iron Claw, but they brought up they put the Undertaker on. Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think about the connections?
Wow. How did he get Undertaker as his character though?
Oh, so Vince McMahon came up with that, and he called him to his house one day, and he was like, "This is the character. Like, this is who you're gonna be." And it was initially like an old Western Undertaker character, and so that's where they rolled from there. But he had it written for years, and he never had a person to portray the character he had written.
Yeah.
Until he found him.
You know, I want to see come back versus like fight the Undertaker would be Kane.
That's a good one.
Dude, they're in the same subset.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a cool
the same
character.
genre right there.
Yeah.
Dude.
It was really cool watching him take down The Rock though. That felt like my childhood. He came back so quick first and just chokeslammed him, and that was it. Like that was just so crazy.
And I bet The Rock was honored to have that position, you know, as a heel. But
I wonder. I haven't, like I said, I've just kind of been like watching it again, paying attention to it again recently. The Triple H is the CEO of WWE now, so I wonder if he's gonna start making his appearances, kind of like Vince McMahon did.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That'd be cool.
Oh man. Well, he doesn't have long hair anymore, so they can't do that. They used to do a lot of shaving heads back in the day.
Same thing with the Undertaker though. He had the long hair. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
So that's gone now too for him.
That's right.
Man, is that just a thing where they just like try to be kind of rock star-ish?
I think they're trying to imitate the Sting.
There you go, yeah. Because like, what's his name? Ric Flair had the hair tooth, the blonde dyed hair.
But it was never that long.
It wasn't that long, but it was like a big part of his character, the bleach blonde. And then if I just realized this as I was talking, when Mickey Rourke's character and the wrestler's getting ready, he dyed his hair blonde.
Oh yeah.
At towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So that does kind of tie back into that whole Ric Flair hair thing.
There's blonde, and then there's also just the length of the hair.
The length is the thing too, yeah. So I don't know, because like you said, Ric Flair
some of them have black hair. Like Sting had black hair.
Undertaker too. Jet black.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Going back to the wrestler, okay, before we finish. I like what you said about him being a culmination of a bunch of different like wrestlers. Yeah, and it makes me think about like how jacked he was in the movie. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have much to add about that other than like it really does embody like a lot of the actors. So, but what he does in the movie, there's a scene where he cuts himself, right? Yeah. We didn't see that in Iron Claw.
No, we didn't. But Ric Flair said he did that a lot. The razor.
Oh, that's right.
In the Joe Rogan thing, Ric Flair said he did.
No, he didn't say that in the documentary.
I don't remember now. I've just been been going down this rabbit hole, so I don't remember what.
No, I actually don't remember him saying that in the documentary, so I didn't get that far. Never mind. I said, that's right.
In the Joe Rogan, he said he would put the razors on his wrist and cut himself, which is what happens in the movie. Once again, tying it back to Ric Flair. So at first, I said I don't see the connection as much because Ric Flair was so successful. But the more I talk about it, the more I do see the similarities between Ric Flair and Randy the Ram. Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta talk stuff out, and it comes to show you what it really is.
Yeah, but then you walk it out, and you actually become a wrestler.
No, that's not happening.
Let's do it.
Back there in the grass area.
All right.
I'll RKO you real quick.
Dude, just break my neck real quick. Just,
you know who's a crazy guy? Is Kurt Angle, dude.
Yeah, real American, or
he won the
Olympian wrestler.
He won the gold with a broken neck, dude. How do you break your neck and keep wrestling and win the Olympic gold? Jesus.
Insane, dude. That's insane.
What movie are we gonna watch next?
That's insane. We're gonna watch Toy Story, bro.
If that's what you want to do.
No, we can't. We'll do that one day.
We will. We got to do something good.
We got to watch Donnie Darko, man.
Donnie Darko. That's a good movie.
We have someone who suggested that.
With some stouts, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's a good combo. Dark beer for Donnie Darko.
We have a week to prep it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Hope you enjoyed we kind of dove a little deeper into the nuances and the themes, and
this movie was very easy to do so with. I really like that. I hope we can find more movies where we're able to just really dissect them for what they are, because this one was really good for that. Everything from the cinematography, choice of film stock, to the camera movement, just everything. I mean, that's part of cinematography, but anyways, this movie was really, really easy to dive into. It was a very deep movie, and
we dove deep.
We need to find some more to be able to do that with, because this was good.
Let's
all right, everybody.
ASMR.
No.
Okay, go.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, everybody. Beer.
Happy.
Peace.